From dynamic business centers to beautiful landscapes, from historic landmarks to modern community development, life in Fort Bend County means opportunity, tranquility, and a slice of Texas living like nowhere else in our great Lone Star State.
Hi, I'm Bob Hebert, County Judge of Fort Bend County. We've developed this program so you and your family will know what to do before, during, and after an emergency. The key is preparation. So we'll show you how your city and county governments are prepared and ready to respond, and how you need to prepare your family too, so you'll be ready for any emergency that you may face.
Hurricanes threaten the Texas Gulf Coast every June to November, often spawning tornadoes that add to the damage and devastation. Heavy rains cause flash floods and rivers to overflow their banks, washing away homes and roadways. Thunderstorms can cause power outages that leave your family in the dark. High winds can spread wildfires from forests and fields toward homes and businesses. Rail cars, tanker trucks, and pipelines carry hazardous materials through our county every day. Chemical plants produce and store flammable or toxic chemicals that could accidentally release and affect nearby neighbors. The attacks in Oklahoma City, New York, Washington, and London have taught us that terrorists can strike at any target, anywhere, at any time. Public health emergencies range from communicable diseases like pandemic influenza to biological attacks like anthrax that could suddenly strike with no warning.
During an emergency, the county's emergency management team will meet here in the Emergency Operations Center.
Other department heads and elected officials may join us to help manage the EOC in order to prepare for, respond to, and recover from any emergency.
Fort Bend County has a detailed emergency operations plan developed by our Office of Emergency Management.
We update the plan continuously, submit any changes to the state for approval, and conduct drills and exercises to test our plan every year.
Just as the county has an emergency plan, you need a plan to protect your family. Visit the county's website, then click on the drop-down box for Emergency Management. There you can obtain information about developing a family disaster plan. Or visit onestorm.org to create a free family hurricane plan online. Or call the county's Office of Emergency Management.
Fort Bend County Emergency Management.
And we'll mail you a free emergency preparedness brochure. Prepare an emergency kit with everything your family will need at home or to take with them during an evacuation. Store at least 3 days of water and food that doesn't require refrigeration or cooking in case your power goes out. Have several flashlights available and a battery-powered radio with extra batteries. Stay in touch with any relative or neighbor who is elderly or disabled.
Hello.
Hi, Mom, it's Laura. Yeah, we had an emergency up here.
Residents who are elderly, have special medical needs, or lack transportation can call 211 statewide or call the county's Special Needs Awareness Program. Visit the county's website to obtain a free registration form listing your special needs.
Well, we called it the Special Needs Awareness Program for two reasons. We want to be aware of where these people are and who they are so that we can give them information and education, help them plan for an emergency in Fort Bend County. But also we want them to be aware of the kind of situations that might come up and what they can do as well. So it works in both directions.
Fort Bend County is far enough away from the Gulf of Mexico that most residents don't need to evacuate during a hurricane. As we learned during Hurricane Rita, evacuating only clogs the freeways for coastal residents who are passing through Fort Bend County to shelters further away. However, if you live in a flood-prone area or in a mobile home, you will need to evacuate several days before the storm hits. These are the only 2 state-approved evacuation routes through Fort Bend County. These evacuation route signs will guide evacuees along the way.
The evacuation routes that the state have set up would take people to either Austin or San Antonio, so they really want to get far enough away from the coast not to be in danger from another storm happening in that location as well.
If you do evacuate, take any pets with you or board them with your vet. Although pets may not be allowed in some shelters, accommodations will be available for them. Practice your family emergency plan so you'll have peace of mind that your loved ones will be safe. When any emergency occurs, the first responders will include law enforcement, firefighters, and emergency medical service technicians. If the emergency involves hazardous materials, the county has 2 regional response teams ready to respond. An East Side team with members from Missouri City, Stafford, and Sugar Land, and a West Side team with responders from Pecan Grove, Richmond, and Rosenberg, trained and equipped for oil, chemical, and radiological emergencies. Road and bridge crews are ready to set up barricades, replace damaged road signs, and remove debris. Information technology staff keep the county's computer systems up and running so emergency notifications can be posted on the county's website. Health and Human Services employees can set up mobile clinics and dispensing sites to provide vaccinations and may advise safety precautions such as social distancing to slow down the spread of deadly diseases like pandemic influenza.
We ask schools to close. We might ask people not to have special events like ball games, concerts, parties, anything that brings you together in a group. We might even ask that employers allow their employees to work from home if they're able to do that, or put people on staggered schedules and so forth, not to have meetings but to have conference calls, talk to each other on computers and telephones and things of that sort. And so these are the kind of measures we would institute first.
How will you be warned what to do? The county can activate several community warning systems to notify you of any emergency.
This is Fort Bend County EOC to KTRH. We are requesting an activation of the emergency alert system.
The emergency alert system delivers severe weather watches and warnings, plus local emergency messages to KTRH AM 740, KUHF FM 88.7, and the National Weather Service for rebroadcast by other radio, TV, and cable systems in the greater Houston region.
You are listening to Fort Bend County Emergency Advisory Radio Station, broadcasting on 1670 AM.
AM 1670 is a network of 10 AM radio stations that can broadcast emergency messages to motorists driving through Fort Bend County. When not transmitting emergency messages, AM 1670 rebroadcasts National Weather Service information.
Tune to this radio station for emergency advisories, travel information, and severe weather events.
Hello?
The Neighborhood Early Warning System is a reverse 911 telephone notification system that can call thousands of homes and businesses in a selected geographic area.
You are instructed to shelter in place and tune to AM 1670 for further detail.
In case of a chemical release, the county may recommend that you shelter in place. Here's what to do.
Lauren, Holly, come in. We have to shelter in place.
First, go inside and close all doors and windows. Bring any pets inside with you. Second, turn off all air conditioning or heating systems that might draw in outside air. Third, turn on the radio for more information.
The earlier recommendation to shelter in place has been canceled.
When the emergency is over, an all clear message will be issued using these same warning systems to let you know it's safe to resume normal activities.
For returning inside and resuming normal activities.
After an emergency, city and county responders will start recovery operations. You can help your family and your neighborhood recover by becoming a trained volunteer.
If you work or live in Fort Bend County, we have a program called CERT, which is Community Emergency Response Team. We're setting up teams within your subdivision, within your workplace, your churches, to be able to train people to be self-activated during a catastrophic event where they can take care of themselves, their family, and their community.
CERT volunteers receive 24 hours of training in search and rescue, first aid, and how to help victims when professional responders may not be immediately available. Volunteers on our Citizen Support Team receive 10 hours of training to provide administrative support to the county's Emergency Operations Center. CST activities may include operating the county's phone bank during emergencies, inventorying food and supplies for distribution, and helping conduct community education programs. Licensed amateur radio operators can join the county's Emergency Management Radio Operators Group to communicate by ham radio during emergencies.
What we have here is a radio room with different consoles with different operators operating different radios. We have capabilities to work both voice and digital modes, both short range and long range communications, along with the regional radio system, the 800 megahertz trunking system.
MROG members relay Skywarn storm reports to the National Weather Service. If you're 18 or older, you can receive 3 hours of training to serve on the Medical Reserve Corps, even if you're not a doctor or nurse. During a public health emergency, such as pandemic flu, these volunteers will help hand out medications at various dispensing sites around the county. Besides saving lives, Medical Reserve Corps volunteers and their families receive the medications before the general public.
We have caches of medications available to provide for volunteers and their families so that the volunteer family members don't have to wait in the lines with the general public. The volunteer could actually get the medication and then take it home with them to provide to their families.
To learn more about these training and volunteer opportunities, call the Fort Bend County Office of Emergency Management or the county's Health and Human Services Department.
As a volunteer, you can help us save lives, and you can help Fort Bend County recover from any emergency. Remember, preparation is the key. Develop a family emergency plan. Put together an emergency supplies kit. When you're notified of an emergency, be ready to respond. Working together, we can help all families in Fort Bend County stay safe.